Hi everyone. In today's challenge, we're gonna solve this problem. The problem name is best time to buy and sell stock with the transaction fee, and the problem number is 714. Okay, so as usual, first of all, we are gonna clearly understand this problem statement. After that, we're gonna move to the logic part. We're gonna see how we can solve this problem. What is the logic to solve this problem? And after that, we're gonna move to the implementation part. We're gonna implement our logic in C++, Java, and Python programming language. Fine, guys. Now let's see what this problem says. Right. The problem says you are given an array price where price of I is the price of a given stock on the ith day, all right, and an integer fee representing a transaction fee. So guys, one thing is clear that we are given two things. The first thing is nothing but price, array, or let me just close this and make it array. And second thing is an integer, right? I hope it makes sense, right? Now this array is gonna have some value. The name of that is price, right? So this is gonna have 1, 2, 4, 6, anything, right? And this is gonna have number. So now what is the value represented inside this array? Let's say this one represent the 0th day, right? Right. So on 0th day the value is 1. On first day we have a value 2. On second day we have a value 4. On skip on this, right? Fine. Now we are given find the maximum profit you can achieve. Well, let's say we have to achieve a maximum profit. How? What is the profit? Let's see that, right? You may complete as many transactions as you like, but you need to pay a transaction fee for each transactions. Fine. Now, guys, what we are going to do? We are going to buy a stock. After that, we are going to sell that stock, right? Let's say we buy this one. So if we are selling this at 2, so we are going to have a net profit 1, right? I hope this makes things. If we have a to buy a stock, let's say buy 10, right? Let me just make a right spelling. Let's say we buy a stock at the 10th, right? On the any day we have buy at the cost of 10, right? Now if I selling that we can say this particular stock at a rate of 20. So can you see that we get a profit of 10, right? But the twist in this we can say this particular problem is that 10 minus we have to do the transaction fees, right? So they are given a transaction fee, so we have to subtract that transaction fee as well. So let's say the transaction fee is 4, so we are going to get on this we can say on this particular event we are going to get the profit is 6, right? If we buy at 10 cost, sell at the 20 cost, then we are going to subtract the transaction fee, then we can get a net profit which is nothing but 6, right? So here they have told this thing only. You may complete a transaction as many as you like, but you need to pay the transaction fees for each transaction. So for this transaction we have pay for. For every transaction we have to pay for. But it's not like that we can only buy one time. We can buy multiple times. But only when we have sell the previous one, right? Here they have mentioned you may not engage in a multiple transactions simultaneously. That means you must sell the stock before you buy again. I hope also it gonna make sense. You buy a something, you buy a stock. First of all, you need to sell that stock. Then only you can buy another one, right? Now let's see the example, then try to understand this particular thing, right? So let's me remove this thing. So guys, we are given an array of price here 132849. So let's write over here why we need to understand from there, right? So we have our array this thing. So this is array of prices, and the transaction fee is nothing but 2, right? Fine, it makes sense. Okay, so what we are gonna do? We are gonna say I can buy at this particular day, at this day, at this day, at this day. Any day I can buy, and any day I can sell, but it should be the after the buy, right? And before the next buy, right? Fine. So let's say I buy at the 0th day, right? This is 0, this is 1, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Right? These are nothing but day, right? So if I buy on 0th day, that means I have buy one amount, right? I have buy with the one cost, right? So I have pay one cost, right? To buy this stock at one, right? So I have buy one stock, the whose cost was 1. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sell it on the, I can sell it on first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day. I can sell any day, right? Next to it. So if I sell it at the first day only, where the price of that particular stock was 3, so how much profit I'm gonna get? You can see, guys, if price was 3, so I have to subtract first of all from my buy, which means nothing but 2, right? 3 minus 1 is 2. Now I have to subtract the transaction fee as well, which is nothing but in this case 2, right? We have written over here as well. So we are gonna see 2 minus 2 is nothing but 0. So there is not gonna be a single profit, right? But also not gonna be a loss as well, right? So we can say if I sell it on this day, then I'm not gonna get a profit, but I'm not gonna get a we can say loss as well, right? So there is going to profit is going to be nothing but 0. If I sell it on the second day, then you can see we have the price there was 2, so 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1, and after subtracting this transaction fee I'm going to get a minus 1. So here I'm getting a profit, not even I'm getting a loss, right? There is no profit or even a loss, so we are not going to sell it on this day as well, right? Because initially our profit was 0, we can't get less than that, right? So after that we have 8, we on third day we have a price of that stock is 8, so we can sell it on this day, right? So if we try to sell it on this day, then we are going to get 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 minus 2, which is transaction is 5. So we are getting a profit here 5, which is better than the 0, right? Initially we were having a profit of 0. but now we are getting 5, so I can sell it on third day, right? So you can see that one circle which is representing that buy on this day and sell it on this day, right? Fine. So I have buy and sell it and I got a profit of 5, right? So let me write here profit is 5. Try to understand this. This is a really interesting question and based on the scenarios. And you can easily we can say familiar with this particular scenario as well, right? So now we once we have buy this particular buy this stock and sell this stock. So now we are ready to buy, right? Now I have sell it. So now I'm ready to buy because I haven't buy currently now any stock, right? So now I can buy this one as well, this one as well, right? So which I want I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy 4, right? So I'm gonna buy 4. So let's say I buy 4. So my buy is nothing but 4, and I can't sell it on the same day. If I sell it, the profit is gonna be 0, right? That doesn't make sense, right? So let's say I'm gonna move to the next, and I try to sell this on this particular fifth day, right? So there was just price 9. 9 minus 4 is nothing but 5, and 5 minus 2 is nothing but 9 minus 5 minus 2. 9 minus 4, right? 9 minus 4 minus 2, right? So I'm gonna get is nothing but 3, right? So here if I buy on this 4 and sell it on this means I buy in this fourth day and sell it on fifth day, then I'm gonna get a profit is nothing but 3, right? After subtracting the transaction fee as well. So here I'm getting a 3 profit, right? So I hope you can see here. Here was a 5, here was a 3. So total profit, how much we are gonna get? We are gonna get total profit is 8, right? So 5 plus 3 is nothing but 8. So we are gonna return also the output is nothing but 8. I hope this makes sense, right? I hope you understood this example, right? So what we have done, we have buy on the first. They have also given explanation as well. So you are gonna buy at 1, you are sell at 8, then buy at 4, then sell at 9, then you are gonna get a profit is nothing but 8 only, right? So this was the basic example one, and I will suggest you or I will advise you that try to solve this by yourself. Don't go to the program. Try to solve it by yourself, right? And even though you can see by here only, but this will not make sense, right? So we are first of all try to understand the logic, then we are going to try to solve this as well, right? All right. So now I'm what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove everything, right? Now let's move to the logic part. We have understood the problem statement. If you have any kind of doubt in the problem statement part, right? If you could not able to understood the example or we can say the problem statement, then you may write in the comment section because this part must be clear before moving to the logic part, right? So let me remove all these things. Fine. Now let me write here logic part, right? So we are going to discuss logic. So guys, first logic it could be first of all, can you solve it without optimized one? Means I just want to know that whether you solve it. Forget about TLE, means time complexity. Forget about MLE, memory limit error, right? So just tell me whether you could solve it, right? Even you use 1,000 of loops, even you use 1,000 of function, can you able to solve this problem? If yes, then well and good. Then you are doing a good. Just you need to learn the optimized way, right? But if you could not able to solve it, then you have to also see the brute force approach, how the intuition work, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to first of all see how we can solve it. So the brute force is going to be use the recursion part only, because on every possibility we are going to do this, right? So let me have brute force approach, right? So we have initially 1, 3, 2, 8, 4, 9, right? So this is the brute force approach going to be. So what I'm going to do on each index. So see guys, this is the first index, right? So what I can do, I can buy. This is the first index, so I have to buy it, right? I can't sell it on this day. So I will say that okay, I'm buying it over here, right? So always I'm going to start from the next the first index only, right? So on this day, there are two possibilities: either buy it, either sell it. So guys, if you're buying it on this cell, right, on this array, so what you're gonna do? You're gonna say, okay, for the next of the array, I have to sell it. So you are gonna, if you're buying it, you are gonna say this array is gonna have an operation to sell it, right? But on this particular cell, if we are selling it on this day, then this array is gonna tell us that you have to nothing but what you have to do, you have to buy it, right? You have to buy it, right? Again, we are come to this thing on this index. If we have buy this particular thing, right? If we have buy 3, so then there could be more possibility that I can buy this one, right? This could be the more beneficial. I could buy this one instead of that one. So I can buy this one, then my this particular left to the array is nothing but we can say for sell, right? This we have to do for sell. Let me mention it over here. So I just buy it to sell it, right? Here also I buy it to sell it, right? So there could be two possibilities. So here if I have sell it, right, so that is make sure that we have to buy it. I hope this makes sense. If I have sell it, then I have to this next area I have to buy it first, then only I can sell it, right? So there's gonna be only one possibility is you have to buy it, and that array is gonna be what 849, right? I hope it makes sense. Now we are having a buy here. If I could sell it on this day, right? So I have bought it this particular 3. So now if I try to sell it on this, then I will get 849 to right buy it, right? So I have sell it, right? So now the next array is nothing but this one. So this is nothing but you can see the possibilities. See, I'm repeating it again, it might be confusing. I was on zero index. I know that on zero index we can only buy it, we can't sell it, right? We can only buy it, but we can't sell it on the zero index. So we are not going to start from here, we are going to start from one index, because here we are going to say we can either buy it or sell it, right? So we know that if we are buying it 3, if we are buying this 3, then we can say okay, in the next array you have to either you can sell it or buy it, right? So you are going to say you are going to have this particular array 2849. But if we are selling it, then you're going to have this 2849 array, but here you will going to have a profit 3 minus the previous one, right? So on this particular thing, if you have buy this 3, so on this array also you have a possibility that you can either buy it or sell it, right? I have a buy 3, but now I can buy 2 as well, right? I can remove this one. I can say, okay, now I'm trying to buy this 2, right? Because I haven't sell it, right? So I can buy this one to 2 as well instead of this 3, because we are looking for it. So if I buy this 2, then I gonna have this particular array left 849. But if I sell it at 2, so if I sell it at 2, then 849 is going to be the left. But here, what I have to do, I have sell it, right? So now this 84R, I'm further looking for buy only, right? Because I have sell it. Now I don't have any buy stock, so I will try to buy it in here, right? And same goes for here. If we have sell at 3, means I have sell at 3, so I have to buy it, right? Any stock. So I will say just try to buy any stock, and then you will have an array 849 to sell it, right? This makes sense, isn't it? So I hope this makes sense, right? So we are going to do these things, and this is going to be brute force approach, right? So by this you will be able to get the maximum profit, and then you can return that particular profit, right? I hope this makes sense. Now the little optimize, or we can say the optimized one, could be use a memoization on this place. How you could do memoization? You can do a memoization based on the indexes and the flag, means what have you done on that particular indexes. You have buy or sell it, right? So you can do a memoization on that particular indexes, right? So that is going to be nothing but a dynamic programming call, right? That is called a dynamic programming. Fine. I'm not going to spend much time on this because we are not going to use it for implementation, but you must know before implementing the next, we can say, the approach, right? Because in the future, maybe you can get a problem with where you can't do that particular part, but you have to do a recursion part with the memoization only, right? So you must know how the memoization recursion work in such cases, right? So we have the two possibility every time, buy or sell. But if we have buy it, then we can either again buy or sell it. But if we have sell it, so we have to buy it only. We have only one possibility after buying, after selling a stock. But after buying a stock, we have two possibility. We can either buy the next one also instead of that, or we can sell it the next one. So that makes sense, right? After that, we can use a memoization, which we call a DP, right? So this is going to be first approach. This brute force is going to give a TLE. This optimized one may not give you TLE, may pass all the test case, right? So try it yourself by using this DP concept, and when you get a free time, right? So it will solve the. I hope it will solve this particular problem as well, right? Now let's move to the next approach, which we are going to use it. So we don't want to spend much time on this. We are going to see our approach. So in this approach, what we are going to do, we are going to say we have this array 1, 3, 2, 8, 4, 9, right? So we have this array price. So why do I need to like use a recursion over here when we know that on zero indexes you have to buy it only, right? You can't sell it, right? So I'm going to say okay. I'm going to write first of all one line here. So here we're going to say buy. Then we are going to use a three variable, right? So one is nothing but previous, and third one is nothing but sell. Just we are going to play with three variable only, right? We are not going to use any array, anything. We are going to use this three variable. Let's see how we are going to use it, right? Initially y will be your one, right? So we are going to say one. Previous is going to be nothing but, it is going to be nothing, right? It is going to be null, right? Three round. Now let's see, not three. Let's see the next variable, which is sell. So we haven't got a profit, right? Now what is by tell? By is assuming that you are a person, right? You are a person. Fine. Why it get removed? Fine. So you are a person, like, now what you are going to do, you are going to buy a stock. If you will buy a stock, you have to spend a money, right? This three has been removed also. You have to spend the money, right? So let's say I buy this one, which was cost at one, right? I buy on a zero today, the stock, the price was nothing but one, right? So I have to spend the money minus one, right? My account has now value minus one if it was zero, right? I have it making a sense, right? I am doing a minus one. Why? Because I have spent the money. I hope you are understanding this scenario. I have spent the money, right? All right. Now, guys, I'm gonna always start from the first index, because on the zero index we can't sell it, right? So we're starting on this first index. I'm at the index first, right? And this is second index, third index, fourth, fifth, right? So I'm a first index. Now what I can do here, I can buy here to sell it. Again the same scenario, right? So on that first index, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say, okay, first of all store this buy which we have buy earlier in a variable, because we are gonna update buy here. So buy is gonna be nothing but we could say buy will be maximum of. Now understand this, we don't want to cram this particular statement, so try to understand this one. Maximum of buy or sell minus this particular value, right? So we can say index, my index value, right? Assuming this particular thing is nothing but value, right, on that particular index. All right, so now this is going to be nothing but so before that we have to store our, we can say this variable by in our previous, right, which is nothing but -1, right? Now guys, see why we have written this statement. Let's try to understand this, right? So buy initially was nothing but -1, right? Now we could sell, we could buy this particular three, right? We could buy at this particular, we can say this particular index, we could buy this three also, but only when this is the giving us a less, we can say this particular buy value, right? See how. So we are saying that sell initially was 0, we haven't got any profit, right? Sell is nothing but we can say profit, right? After selling, how much profit we are getting, right? So sell is 0 and minus index value which is 3, -3, right? So it's going to be nothing but -3, right? And buys initially was 1. So which one is the maximum, -1 or -3? -1 is the maximum, we are taking a -1. I hope you are getting it. If we try to buy it over here, so we have to spend much amount, we are getting in minus, we are getting in loss, right? We have to spend a much amount, right? Even though it is not minus, if it could be like plus only, if it could be 4, it could be 10, then also you can see we are getting in loss, right? Earlier we were having loss, we can say earlier we are spending only 10, right? Now we are spending 4, right? That means the less thing, right? So I hope it makes sense. If we are we have to choose the maximum so that we don't get less profit, right? So here initially was -1, means we have buy a stock of price 1, right? So that we have given the amount minus, so we got a -1 in our account. Now we are going to get a -3, that means we are going to spend 3 more extra, right? So we don't want to do that, we are going to take a maximum one, which is going to be nothing but we can say -1 only, right? So buy is going to be nothing but -1 here. Again it's going to remain same. Now sell, let's see whether we could sell it over here or not. So for sell, what we are going to do, we are going to say maximum sell, and we can say now we have to subtract this with the p by one, right? So we have to subtract this one, price of I minus, we have to do what, subtract, we have to subtract this by, right, what we have by earlier. So you can see that we are already taking account in a minus, right? We are already, we don't need to subtract it, we are going to add it, right? We are going to add this by, and why we are adding, because we are already taking how much we are in loss, right? Plus, not plus, now we have to subtract the transaction fee, so we can say fees, right? So we are going to do this. So here let's see, sell was initially 0, price of 5 is 3, plus what is by -1, right? So we are going to subtract -1 here and -2, because fees was initially 2, you can see in this example one. So 3 -1 -2 is nothing but 0 only, right? So 0, 0, which is maximum 0 only, right? So we are going to not increment our sell as well. Now let's quickly do for next of the iteration so that you can have better understanding what they are doing. So let's see. So guys, on the next transactions, on the next day, let's see what we are going to do. First of all, we are going to calculate buy. Should we buy it on this day rather than the previous day we have buy it? So let's check it. So we are going to say buy. Buy initially was -1 and sell is 0. 0 minus this -2. So we can say -1, -2, which is maximum. Maximum is -1 only, right? So we are going to say no, we can't buy this. If we start buy, so we are going to get a less loss, right? We have already the less cost stock present on the, we can say, previous side, right? So we are going to say we are not going to buy it, right? And after that we are going to say sell. Sell here we are going to say okay, sell it. So we are going to say maximum of sell, earlier was 0, now let's see what is going to get via sell. Price of I is nothing but we can say 2 minus buy we have to use here previous buy, right? So this previous one I have by mistake we have written buy, we have to write a previous buy, right? Alright, so previous buy was -1 and -2, right? So here you can see we are getting in even in loss -1, right? So we are going to don't sell it on this day as well. So we are going to say sell is remain now is 0 only, right? Fine. Now let's move to the next day, third day. So here guys, that is going to come, we have 8, right? So we're going to say first of all store of a previous buy, this buy in a previous variable which is -1. Fine. And after that check, see whether we could buy it on this day or not. So on this day earlier we having a buy is -1. Now if we buy it on this day, so we have to say we have to spend -8, right? On this day 0 minus sell was 0, 0 minus 8 is -8, right? So we can say you are going to get a maximum value is -1 only. So that means there is a no benefit to buy on this day, we are going to get in a loss, so we are going to not buy on this day, right? So buy going to be -1 only, right? Now can we sell it on this day? So for selling, we are going to say maximum of sell. Sell is nothing but initially was 0. Now price of 5 means 8 minus, not plus, we have to plus this buy variable which is minus 1, then minus 2. So here we are going to get a 5, right? 8 minus 1 minus 2. That means if we sell on this day, then we are going to get a net profit of 5. Cool. So if it is greater than 0, right? So we are going to store this in our sell variable, right? So now our sell is going to have nothing but buy. So far we got one changes, right? In our 3 variable. Sell is 5. Previous is also minus 1. Buy is also minus 1. Now let's move to the next citation. So now guys, let's see whether we should buy it on this day or not. Yes, we should buy it on not. Let's check it, right? So here, if we buy it, you can see we have maximum of buy. Initially was buy minus 1. Before that we have to store in previous. So we have already stored minus 1, right? So maximum of minus 1, comma. Sell was initially now 5, right? Minus this index is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Maximum of minus 1. 5 minus 4 is nothing but 1, right? So which is maximum now? Minus 1 or 1? 1 is the maximum. That means we should buy it, right? I hope it makes sense. We should buy it. And see guys, how this is going to work? We are using a sell variable, right? So we should buy it, and now if we buy it, so we are going to get a we can say buy variable is 1, and this happened due to sell variable because we have a now net profit 5. If we buy it on 4 days, so we are going to get a profit nothing but we can say 1, right? After buy it, right? So you can see even on this day we are not in a loss, we are even in a profit of 1, right? At actual profit we are having nothing but 5 only, right? Currently, because we haven't sell it yet, right? So if we sell it, then profit is going to be nothing but 5 only, right? I hope it makes sense. So now if we buy it, then still I am getting a profit of 1. If still I buy it, right? If I don't buy it, then I was having a profit was minus 1, right? I hope it makes sense. So I have buy it and I got a profit in nothing but 1, right? Now I have buy it. Now I'm going to say sell it. Do we can sell it on this day? We can't sell it, right? Because we have a previous buy was minus 1. So if we start selling on this day on this previous basis, so we are going to get less than 5, right? Now let's move to the fifth index. There, let's see. Now first of all, store this buy in our previous variable, which is 1. Now let's see whether we could sell it on 9 day, on fifth day where the stock price was 9. So we could say maximum of selling is equal 5, then price of y is nothing but 9. Then we are going to add this previous, which is nothing but 1, then minus 2. 9 plus 1, 10, minus 2 is nothing but 8. So you can see if we sell it on this day, then our profit is going to be nothing but 8, right? This is whole profit we are getting, right? Now instead of 5, we are going to get 8 profit, right? I hope it makes sense. If we sell it on this day, then the whole profit I'm going to get 8, right? After that loop is over, so we are going to return nothing but whole profit, which is nothing but 8 only, right? It will always be greater than 0, and it will always be greater than 0, right? It will always be greater than 0. So that means our profit is always be greater than 0, and whatever the value it's going to be have, we are going to return that particular value. I hope this makes sense, right? So these two statement we are going to use buy and sell, where buy is nothing but we are keeping check whether it's once if we buy this particular we can say stock, do we are getting in more loss or in a profit? If we are getting in profit, then we are going to update our buy. Otherwise, we are not going to update it. For sell also, if we sell on this day, our sell is getting increased or not, right? Because this is overall thing, right? We are keeping in overall, right? So if it is increasing, then we are going to sell it on that day. If it is getting decreased, so we are not going to sell it on that day, right? I hope it makes sense. So that was the simple logic, guys. We are going to use it. So let's move to the implementation part. I hope I was able to understand you, like how this is going to work. If you still have any kind of doubt, it may be the case that you could not understand this particular thing. But on the problem, on the we can say implementation part, you're definitely going to understand this, right? So let's move to the implementation part. Let's see how we can implement this in Python, C++, and Java, right? So guys, I am first of all with the Python. So let me see whether size is greater. Right. So what I'm going to do it quickly. But first of all, let's say I'm going to say not in. I'm going to say buy is initially price of I, right? Or we can say 0. Initially it's going to be 0. So it's going to be minus, right? After that, we are going to say sell is initially going to be 0, which is our result, right? Finally, we are going to return how much profit we are having. Currently, we are having 0, right? So buy, after buy, we are it going to tell us the status amount, right? Now, once this time, we are going to use a loop for I in age of 1 to we can set till price of length, right? Instead of this, we can also do like this for price in price of this line. Same thing, right? It's going to take the whole after the first index, 0 index, right? Now we are going to check it. First of all, let's store this in a previous variable, or we can say previous, yes, previous buy, right? Previous buy will be the file. Previous buy is going to be nothing but buy, right? We have stored this buy in the previous buy. Now we are going to say buy is going to increment it by maximum of what it could be like a price. Now before that we can say maximum buy only buy, and then we can say sell minus price, right? So check it, not this line. So check it whether if we buy on this particular day, so it will gonna increase our buy variable or not. If it is gonna increase it, that means we are gonna get a more profit, right? So we can say fine. But if it is gonna decrease it, then we are not gonna take it, right? And then we are gonna check it sell. Do we need to sell on this day? So if we are selling, then it should be greater than, right, previous sell, right? So how we can sell it? We can say price of that particular price plus sell, not sell, we can say our previous buy, because we have to subtract it, but initially it's gonna be in minus only, right? So we can say plus, after that we can say we have to subtract fees, right? This is going to be tell us the sell, right? After that we can simply return our sell, right? Now let's run this code and see whether it's working fine or not. You can see guys, both the task is passed, so let's try to submit this code as well, right? I hope it will also get submitted. So nothing, just we are checking on each day whether we should buy it or sell it. If we are getting a more value than previous one buy value, then we are going to buy it. If we are getting a more value than previous sell value, we are going to sell it, right? Because it's going to give us a profit. Now let's move to the quickly C++ and Java. First we the C++, and here we are going to say first of all buy, which is going to be initially minus price of let me do like this, price of I, not I, 0, what I'm doing. Then we are going to say sell, which initially 0 means net profit is 0. Then we are going to say for int I is equal to 0, not 0 1, and I less than price dot size I plus plus. So first of all store this in previous buy, which is going to be nothing but buy. Then after that you can say update your buy, which is going to be nothing but maximum of buy or sell minus price I, right? After that you can either check it, should we need to sell it. So sell maximum of sell comma, you can say price of I subtract, you have to add this particular loss which is we got by buying plus, not plus, minus fees. After that you can later simply sell. Let's try to run this code and see whether it's working fine or not. And I hope it should show, but right, we should not get any error. You can see guys, it's working fine, but it will give an error because we are not using here buy, right? Previous buy. Let's run this code now, and you can see both the test case working. So let's try to submit this code, and it should work, right? So you guys can see that it also got submitted, right? So we are going to move to the next programming language, which is nothing but Java, and quickly we are going to say int by, which is nothing but, we could say a price of 0, right? Then we are going to say this particular thing sell, means initial profit is 0, right? What is happening? Then we are going to traverse from the first index less than price dot length I plus plus. We are going to say our buy should be maximum of buy or sell minus price of I, right? If we are getting a maximum value than this after selling this particular store, not after buying this particular store, then we are going to get that particular buy, right? After that sell should also get updated, but before that we have to do something, right? Before updating a buy we have to store in previous one, right? So previous buy is going to method buy, right? Because if we are going to sell it, then we are going to use a previous buy, right? So we're going to say maximum of sell price of I plus buy, previous buy, right? Previous buy and minus fees, right? Let's return this particular cell as well. Now let's run this code and see whether it's working fine or not. And hopefully it should work, right? But we got an error which is nothing but maximum is not present in this. We have to use a math.max. Let's write a math.max. I hope it should work, right? Let's check it. All right, so we are getting a 0. Why we don't updating that particular thing? Let's check it why it is the case. Okay, so he have earned subtracted, we are saying sell minus price of y, fine, price of y plus previous y minus fees, that is also cool, right? Previous y should be equal to the buy, then we are saying that y should be equal to the sell, and we are going to set it on that particular price date, that is also cool. Cool, seems fine, everything, right? Okay, so we are getting what we are getting here, we are getting 10. All right, so now let's see what we have done wrong in this particular loop, right? So first of all, what we are doing, we are saying that we have by the, okay, we haven't used in minus thing, right? We have to say minus price of 0, right? Now let's run this code. All right, so you can see guys, it also got submitted, both the test case passed, right? So let's try to submit this code as well. Now I'm getting confused here why I haven't used a minus price of 0. So you can see guys, it successfully got accepted, right? So we have successfully implemented C++, Java and Python, right? So we have implemented C++, we have implemented with Python. So I hope guys we have seen, you have understood the logic part, problem understanding part, and the implementation part, right? So if you have any kind of doubt in any of these three sections, you can write in the comment section. I'm always there to help you. And If you learn something new in this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Meet in the next video.